teachers, this is Jessie from the Primary Digital Classroom trying to ease the struggles of teaching virtually this year. So today I wanted to go over how I use a Google Slide with hyperlinks to navigate through my class for the day. So the first thing I do each morning is I come here at 8:15 to open up the meeting for the classroom. And then what I do is I come in to my Google Drive and I open up the Luxon Classroom Daily. And so I have this opened up for them. And then I click the Present Now, a Chrome tab. And then this screen shows up in the Google Classroom. And then I go ahead and I start the timer so that way they know how much time they have until we're starting school. Once the timer goes off, then I move over to this screen here. From 8:30 to 8:40, we talk about how we're waking our brains up. And so they can be creating with Play-Doh, creating with Legos, reading a book, drawing a picture, writing a story. And they can also go into the groups of our Google Classroom to have some social time with each other. And again, I start the timer here. And basically what this does is it allows me time to have the whole class join us before we start. Because what I noticed is when I started to take attendance at 8:30, I didn't have all my students in the classroom, but at 8:40 I would. And so this lets them kind of wake up a little bit, kind of come into the classroom. It also gives them the opportunity to talk with each other. And so they always know that in our Google Classroom, they can go to the groups in the morning and they can click on group 1, 2, or 3 and get to, create Legos together or show each other a toy they were playing with last night. And the cool part about this is now in the mornings, the students will be like, I'm in group 2 if anyone wants to join me. And so they're communicating and being able to express to their friends like, hey, let's go and meet in this group. And so once our day starts, I go to this slide here, and this is the slide I really navigate for the whole day. It's nothing fancy. It's just Googling some pictures and putting them in with links. I don't have time to make it all nice and pretty. So basically, we talk about our day, and then we follow this schedule. And so like this shows when, and then writing, and then reading. So basically after we do our win time or intervention time, then we're going into our writing classroom. And so here I have it linked. And my writing classroom is just right underneath my reading classroom. And so then basically wherever the yellow thought or talking bubble is, that is what is linked to my lessons for that week. The lessons look different every week, just depending on what's happening for that week. And so this week we're really focusing on handwriting. And so we're focusing on being a reader for practicing our handwriting. And so I put a link here, and that takes me to the website where it has their handwriting book that they're working on. And so once we complete that, then we go back and we see that the next thing is going to be to work on reading. And so then we go into our reading classroom. And again, I click on here and it takes me right to the lesson for that day. And so for here, on Monday, we were talking about what a noun and a verb was. On Tuesday, we were doing something special, and so we didn't have anything for reading that day. On Wednesday, we're reading this story, and again, it takes me to a link to be able to read it with the students. And then we're talking about the setting of the story, and so we're watching the video to give them a visual, and then they're doing an activity with that. And then with my class, we always build our reading stamina. So we always come back to this slide here, and we always practice building our reading stamina. And so after that, we come back up, and then it is time for them to go to recess. And so again, I click on the slide. It brings them to the recess slide. On Wednesdays, we only have it once, so it's 20 minutes. But all the other days, it's 10 minutes. And so basically, I tell them, and I'll stop sharing that. So basically, I tell them, okay, go ahead and get up, get away from your computers, and go to your recess time. And then again, I go to my meeting, and I go to the tab. So that way I make sure that this screen is displaying, so that way they can hear when the timer goes off. And I'm telling you, as soon as the timer goes off, it's just all these heads that pop back into the screen. And so they're listening for it. And even if I forget to put the timer on, I'll hear the students being like, Miss Lawson, make sure you remember to turn it on. Um, and then we come back here. They do their reading choice board, which is basically their independent work. That's when they do their reading choice board for the week. And I give them directions. They have a choice board they're completing. They also have links to go into their small group classrooms, and I'll be making a video on how to make a small group classroom. And then they're completing the slides for the week. While they're doing that, I'm able to poll my small groups. And so I poll my small groups in breakout Google rooms where they click on Meet with Miss Loxon, and then they meet me in a separate meeting, and it works out really well. Once that's over, we go to lunch, and again, hyperlinked. So that way I can just click this button. They know the expectations. They stay muted the whole time. And then when they hear the timer go off, they come back to our classroom. After lunch, we were talking about who is your hero. We did some writing and then some math, and then they go to specials. And so I click on that special slide. The special slide shows them, like tomorrow will be music. So it shows them what they need to click on. And again, I start the timer. And so they know that they go to the specials slide in the classroom. And then they know they're going to be clicking on music, and that link is going to send them to their lesson for the music lesson for that week. And then if we go back up, after that, they do their math choice board, and then they go to recess again. And again, that's where I click that, and it sends them to recess. The one thing I didn't show you is the math classroom. Which again, they go to the math. For math, I keep it super basic. We do the CGI word problems. And so they help me come up with a problem for the day. And then whatever problem it is, we create a number bond, and we do a fact family for it to get them adjusted to thinking about numbers. And by the time that that's over and they've responded to a word problem in sentence form, that's usually all the time that we have for math. And then after that is when they're doing their math choice boards. And again, really similar to reading, where they have their choice boards that they're working on the whole time. So I tell them the goal for a reading choice board is you're working on reading the whole time. The goal for the math choice board is you're working on math the whole time. And then I can poll students. And with math, I've done it a little bit differently. I'm actually looking at what they're working on, so that way I can poll them if I can see that they need any help. So that's been working out really well. And then the end of the day, we build our stamina. I let students go into groups again, group 1, 2, or 3 for about 5 minutes to get to hang out with each other. They reflect on their learning, and then they do a little checkout form for the end of the day. And so I love this because it just makes my day go really easily, because everything's in here and it's really easy to get to because it's hyperlinked. So I hope that's helpful. Any questions, reach out to me. You can email me at primarydigitalclassroom@gmail.com or leave a comment. And I would love to be able to help to ease the stress of this virtual platform that we're all trying to navigate through this year.